Hey, welcome to the 2021 Skiff Festival competitor briefing. Turns out as we've gotten closer to this event, we could probably almost done this competitor briefing in person. We've got a pretty small but very good fleet of 29ers as all we're working with. And additionally, it turns out it looks like we might be mask free for some of those that are vaccinated starting Monday. So I don't know for sure on that, but regardless, I'm going to stick to the schedule here and just kind of do the YouTube briefing for you all, and I will keep this short and sweet. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of the competitors who came out. Like I said, it's a little bit of a smaller showing, but we're excited to try to give you some good racing the next 2 days. And I want to just go over a couple of things. So let's start with a share of our online notice boards. This is the 2021 Skiff Festival event page. And as you can see, we've got our race documents and logistics and results will be posted down here when they go live. I have posted a couple of amendments and I'd like to go over that. But before I do, let's just talk about the attachment A onshore staging so everybody understands kind of how it works. As you look at this, you'll see that we have some trailer boat and dolly storage back here. Typically, they mark this off for the back row and say, hey, this is for Santa Barbara Yacht Club. But because of the small size of the fleet, the harbor department said, hey, is it all right if we don't mark it all off? There's definitely gonna be plenty of space for the 5 boats. And I said, yeah, that's no problem at all. A couple of requests that we had when we put this all together, and I understand that we're getting closer to the point where these requests might not make as much sense, that we are requesting, and it is a rule that is not protestable by competitors, is face coverings must be worn while on land at the regatta venue, except when eating and drinking, and to adjust clothing. We originally had potential subsections of the back row. And all we're just going to ask is that, you make sure that there's a little bit of space between the boats. Really shouldn't be a problem. I think if you put one boat per stall, I mean, you want that space while you're rigging anyway. So again, we're not going to be very big sticklers on this at all. But we're kind of following the procedure we developed in the fall for at least this one last event. There's no physical check-in location. That's kind of important. So coaches / sailors should check in online each day via this Google form. And when you go to it, all you do is it's your sail number, name of skipper, name of crew, club, and the date, and you submit. Okay, and that is in process, so we know who's coming out, right? So if you don't sign in, okay, well, maybe they're not coming out today. But it was sort of a way for us to handle bigger events, and we kept it installed. Probably doesn't need to be happening for this one, but I did not change that instruction. So you should be signing in each day to let us know that you're going sailing via that Google form. As you can see, we prefer that you launch from the eastmost ramps here, and there's like a dinghy ramp actually that's there now, and so that's for us. There's these 2 to the west here that they like to keep open. Again, I don't think any of this is a big deal because we'd have so few boats. A couple other things is that we won't have any parking monitor sort of saying, okay, you launch now with this amount of boats. I think it's pretty easy to communicate amongst yourselves and let each other know when you're going. And a couple of notes about the launch ramp. It is slippery, especially at low tide. So just be aware, like this isn't, there's nothing like grip wise there, and you got to be real careful as you're coming in or going out at low tide. Your dollies should be returned from the launch ramp when you launch back to the back row, and please don't leave them down by the launch ramp. Let's see here, for parking perspective, any yellow stalls, these are all yellow, this lane, this lane, this lane, this lane, are for cars attached to trailers or trailers alone. Any white stalls only are for cars only. Okay, so you can have a car in a yellow stall, but you got to have a trailer attached to it. Okay, you can also have a trailer by itself in a yellow stall. You can also put your boat on your dolly in a yellow stall, but no single cars in yellow stalls, and that is so you don't get a ticket. Okay, that's a harbor department public launch ramp deal. Again, it says staggered launch times will be announced via megaphone. We're not going to do that. We're going to let you launch when you want to launch. There's not enough boats to be worried about that. But when you are doing any kind of team meetings or any kind of rigging, make sure to keep the lanes clear for traffic flow going up and down. And yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's see here. Coach boats. You can keep your coach boats overnight at the SPYC N-Tide D. And let's see if I have I don't have that right here, but I will pull that up momentarily. SPYC N-Tide D. And it's over kind of on the other side of the harbor. So it's not like super convenient from like a walking perspective, but it's somewhere you can keep your boat. So I'm gonna pull up, let's see here if I can find a harbor map. You know what, I might not have one readily available, which is kind of a bummer. I apologize. So I guess we have questions about that. I'm sure any of the coaches, or I'm happy to direct the coach boats to that following racing at the end of the day. And you can keep it overnight there. There will be a boat on that end tie that's about 34 feet. The end tie is 79 feet long. So just be aware of that, and you'll be on one side of it and you can raft off each other if there's a lot of coach boats. Okay, so let's talk about, oh yes, so at the end of the day, there is a, when boats come out off the launch ramp, there is a rinse station that we'll have together. We're gonna put some quarters out and a hose, and we'll let you guys just handle that on your own. Should be pretty straightforward, but there's a little rinse station right at the launch ramp exit. It does take quarters as a heads up. The bathrooms are, there's public bathrooms at Sea Landing and a couple of buildings right at the edge of the harbor. SPYC is generally speaking open to members and their guests only right now. And that policy literally might have changed in the last 2 days. So feel free to call the yacht club and check on that policy. But I mean, things have changed so fast that honestly, I'm not positive on that. But as of last I heard, SPYC is still only open to members and their guests, just as a heads up. All right, let's go over a couple of sailing instruction changes. So we did a couple of amendments, starting with attachment C. The course chart has been changed and amended. And I did this because we thought we were going to have an I-14 fleet and they like reach mark and all this stuff. And it was just, you know, it's overly complex for, you know, one fleet of boats. So we're going to have a single start finish line here at the bottom of the course, one windward mark, one gate. It's either going to be a course 1 or a course 2, meaning windward finish, or windward gate, windward finish. So pretty easy to figure out there. Obviously we'll shoot for mostly course 2s, hopefully all course 2s, assuming the conditions allow and warrant that. The next amendment is the start. So we're going to go to Appendix U, Rule U3. That means whistle starts, 3-minute whistle starts. I have an automatic horn system, so it won't actually be whistles. It'll be like a horn system, giving a 3-minute countdown. And that just means we're going to get rid of the flags. You know, don't need the flags for that system. The hailing of boats there was a little bit of a conflict in the SIs saying that would announce it over VHF versus one instruction said megaphone. The answer is megaphone. Obviously, that VHF thing was left in there by accident because of when the Vipers were sailing Skiff Festival. But as it stands now, we will be sailing only the megaphone for the 29ers. Okay, so I'll definitely try to make sure I hail you as quickly as possible if you are over early. Sailing instruction 17 just had some conflicting information about radio communication, so I won't be communicating with the competitors VHF channel 71. That is gone. I will only be communicating to you via megaphone or loud, you know, if I yell to you or something. Okay, attachment B, let's talk about racing area. So here's kind of our 2 racing areas. One will be to the southwest of the Santa Barbara Yacht Club and launch ramp. So here's the launch ramp. You'd sail out and go take a right turn out of the harbor. And that's if we get a westerly breeze. The other option is if it's from the southeast, we'll come down here and sail more towards the southeast. And so if the breeze is kind of blowing from this direction, we'll take a left turn. So basically you're going to go upwind, most likely coming out of the harbor, based on the breeze direction, most likely. So you're going to want to watch for where the race committee goes. And speaking of which, the race committee boat is a 21-foot Edgewater, I believe. It's got like a T-top on it, a black T-top, sort of a seafoam green, I believe, sides to it. And the boat's called Seafood. It doesn't have that name on it, but you'll see us out there, obviously, with the race committee flag as well. If you're looking for us, the coaches and spectators, you can go to channel 71, and we will be happy to communicate with the VHF to channel 71 to our coaches and spectators, and we'll probably be talking a little bit to the race committee on that channel as well. Let's see here. Let's go to attachments. Oh, sorry, no, I went through attachment C already. Let's see what else I'm missing. Don't think too much. Oh, sailing instructions. So I said we would not be printing out sailing instructions. You should bring your own. Obviously, I've amended some stuff just here recently. So what you will see is that I'm going to actually, I'll bring over some packets of sailing instructions and course charts, the new amended course chart Saturday morning, and make sure your coaches or somebody's got them to hand out. I don't want you guys to have the wrong information, and it's much smaller than I anticipated. So we'll be, you know, it's not a big deal to print out sailing instructions, and things are changing by the moment, so much safer these days. So anyway, we're looking forward to it. I don't think I'm missing anything else. If there are any questions regarding any of this information, certainly let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them to that individual competitor. And if it pertains to everybody in the fleet, I'll make sure I send out an email to everybody, say, hey, this is a question that was asked. I want to answer this publicly to everybody. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the water, looking forward to hopefully a great weekend. And we'll keep our fingers crossed for the forecast. If, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and we will see you all tomorrow morning. Don't forget to sign in online by 10 a.m. okay, via that Google form. Thanks.